Hello everyone. Today we will discuss a question from your General Studies 2 paper of Civil Service Examination. We will be discussing a question from the theme Preamble and Basic Features of the Constitution. The question has appeared in Civil Service Mains Examination 2025. It is a 15-marker question for 250 words. The specific concept of the question is from constitutional morality, a very famous topic nowadays which the UPSC and in fact the judiciary is showing a lot of interest. We will try to read the question, understand what is the demand of the question and write an answer accordingly. Here is an answer that fits the word limit for the answer and it's a handwritten one. However, if you are interested to look at a more in-depth answer with more elaborate description and value added content, you can refer to the GS2 previous year question book that is given by R.C.Reddy IAS Study Circle, which contains questions from 2013 to 2025 from General Studies 2 topic. And not just General Studies 2, the book is available for even other general studies also. The link for the book is given, or the description of the book is given in the link for the video. You can check it. The question says, constitutional morality is the fulcrum which acts as an essential check upon high functionaries and citizens alike. Giving such pretext or contextual statements has become a norm in civil service examination question papers, especially general studies too. These statements present the context for the question, they give the contextual setting. So the contextual setting is, it talks about the importance of constitutional morality as a check tool, not only on the high functionaries but also on the citizens of the country. That is our first understanding. The next part says, in view of the above observation of the Supreme Court, so this is Supreme Court statement, explain the concept of constitutional morality. So here is a straightforward question. The directive word here is explain. Give the technical details of the concept of constitutional moralities. What does it contain? Explain the concept and its application to ensure balance between judicial independence and judicial accountability. The first part is give an understanding of constitutional morality. Also, explanation should be in the context of how it has an impact on the higher functionaries and normal citizens alike, right? So give a concept of constitutional morality, then talk about constitutional morality on higher functionaries and normal citizens, and then go to the point of how you can apply constitutional morality to bring in judicial independence and judicial accountability, right? Let us start the question with directly hitting the point of constitutional morality. The Supreme Court, in the case of National Capital Territory of Delhi versus Union of India 2018, has used this constitutional morality term, saying that it is an ethical compass. It is an ethical compass that ensures all functionaries to act within the spirit of the Constitution, right? So in a way, the Supreme Court itself says constitutional morality contains the spirit of the Constitution. In fact, B.R. Ambedkar says, though it is not a natural sentiment, it must be a cultivated virtue. What is that cultivated virtue? To act according to the constitutional values. So if someone asks constitutional morality, you can say it is a value system that is contained in the Constitution, according to which every citizen of India, irrespective of their position, must act. This is what we have put in a proficient language when we said constitutional morality as an ethical compass and also a cultivated virtue. What does these virtues are? These virtues are in a way present in the preamble of the Constitution, like justice, liberty and equality, right? So this is a crisp definition of constitutional morality. Now we will go to the more elaborate explanation of constitutional morality by giving examples of how it functions over higher functionaries and citizens. The first example that we are going to put is on the high functionaries. In the state of Tamil Nadu versus governor case, the Supreme Court held that high functionaries cannot showcase institutional arbitrariness and rather function within the spirit of the constitution. So that is why the Supreme Court asked CM to rule the constitutional morality. It used the constitutional morality to rule that governors cannot indefinitely withhold bills, ensuring that discretion does not become arbitrariness. So in the case, it happened that the governor of Tamil Nadu was withholding bills for higher period of time. The Supreme Court used the constitutional morality to say that governors cannot withhold bills. Such withholding of bills is not just discretion but can lead to arbitrariness also. Hence, it used constitutional moralities to cut down on the arbitrariness of the executive here. The next point, where the Supreme Court in a way used constitutional moralities to keep a check on the normal citizens, especially in a case called Navtej Singh Johar. In 2018, the Supreme Court used what is known as the constitutional morality doctrine to give a very good concept called constitutional temperament, where it said sometimes constitutional morality should override the social morality, right? So here it clearly said in Navtej Singh Johar case, Supreme Court prioritized constitutional morality over social morality to protect the rights of the LGBTQ community, asserting that rights of a few cannot be sacrificed for the altar of the many. Here it called for the constitutional temperament of people and said that always social morality or the voice of the many cannot curb the rights of the few. So this is how we have given examples for constitutional morality and high functionaries and also for the common citizens also. Now we will see how we can bring the application for judicial independence and accountability. As you all know, the judicial independence forms basic structure of the constitution. But however, unbridled independence can lead to malice, and hence regular accountability of judiciary is also important. For that, the first point that you can see is how transparency can lead to accountability in judiciary. In a case called Subhash Agarwal, where the office of CJI was asked to be open for RTI, the Supreme Court came up with a statement that judicial independence is not a shield from transparency. Judicial independence is not a shield from transparency. By bringing CJI office under RTI, the constitutional morality has been upheld. It said that independence is a responsibility rather than a privilege, right? So administration of justice is a very important part and parcel, and independence of the judiciary should be upheld with responsibility rather than considering it as a privilege, right? The next point is with respect to how constitutional morality can be used to curb what is known as judicial overreach. As we all know, judicial independence is part of basic structure doctrine. This helps to bring activism into the judiciary. But however, when judiciary tries to overreach and get into other domains, the constitutional morality is a constant guideline from them that judiciary also must function within the spirit of the constitution. This is another way where how we can uphold the accountability nature of the judiciary. One, with respect to bringing in transparency, and second, with respect to seeing that judiciary follows the spirit of the constitution and does not overreach on its effect. The third one is when judiciary is especially involved in the appointments process, it follows what is known as a constitutional morality so that it becomes more responsible and the in-house procedures are not opaque. So that is why you can see in Veeraswamy case, it is said that constitutional morality grounds in-house procedure for judicial misconduct. So the constitutional morality will see that the in-house procedures are not done with any mischief. So the constitutional morality sees that the judges are also subjected to the rule of law, balancing the need for an uncoerced bench with the necessity of an ethical one. So we need an uncoerced bench. That's true. Political influence should not be there. That is why we have given them independence. But it should not lead to an unethical one also. So finally we can come to the conclusion that constitutional morality is the soul. Constitutional morality is the soul of the constitution. It ensures that judicial independence ensures public trust rather than institutional isolation. So how should we bring in accountability into judiciary? Either through your appointment process, either through the in-house process, either through curbing overreach mechanism is some of the ways that constitutional morality has been bringing in accountability into judiciary. This is how we try to interpret complex questions in civil service examination, especially from your general studies 2 paper, and make flow of the answers to give coherent arguments, because dumping might not help in such questions and even will create a negative impression in the mind of the examiner. That is why we run a very important program called the Strategic Revision for Mains at R.C.Reddy IAS Study Circle, where we tell students how to interpret complex questions and write answers which will give a logical flow. Hence, I request all the students to contact R.C.Reddy IAS Study Circle to get in touch with this program and use it for their maximum benefit. Thank you.